everybody knows I'm a Harlite.
Yeah.
It's kind of one of the few facts that are 100% concrete.
Yeah, that's true.
From this channel. I like Harley Quinn.
It's not even this channel, it's the other one.
Yeah, just in general.
Yeah.
I like Harley Quinn. Not for the reasons people usually like Harley Quinn, which is tits and ass. I even, in a controversial...
I still call bull.
In a controversial video that's soon to come out.
And is already out. We don't know.
Is it? I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, I mean, I hope so, because this would presumably go before it. Yeah. But anyway... I admit that I have zero attraction to Margot Robbie.
Damn, homie.
That being said, I mean,
homo.
Obviously she wasn't always Harley. Yeah. Harley's been Harley for a long time. She's one of those few characters that transcended the medium she was created in and actually became popular. And, you know, like pretty much by the time Harley came around, characters that were famous were already famous, and there wasn't that many new faces coming out there. People were like, hell yeah, I'm behind that. But for some reason, Harley struck a chord with people. So much so that losers like Kevin Smith, and we say that in a loving way, because we're losers of the comic ilk like he.
You do.
Hating?
Damn, dude, that last movie.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean you hate the man. He's a lovable bear.
I know, but that movie is unforgivable.
I don't forgive that movie. I think it's fucking shit. And I still love the man. But anyway, the point is, even Kevin Smith was so smitten that he named his child Harley Quinn. She's a phenomena, to say the least. Yeah. But she's also a character that draws some ire here and there, because some people are just like, nope, she's just this shallow nothing. Some chicks are like doing the jealous chick thing. That's a thing that happens, right? Why do people do that? Anyway, here and there. Then the DCEU comes along, and Suicide Squad was the first time we saw Harley Quinn drop into the DCU continuity, and that movie alone caused a lot of division and controversy. Even though it made millions of dollars, people were still like, oh, I don't like it anymore, or whatever. And the portrayal of Harley was either hailed as the only saving grace, or, to the opposite end, just another piece of that quote-unquote mess, right? Has anybody been satisfied with that? Truly, I don't know. We were. I think, right? I mean, I know I was. Were you?
Yeah, I liked it.
All right. You don't seem too convinced about that. But anyway, so the DCU, of course, has been a rocky thing for a lot of people. Not for us, except for Aquaman, dude. I can't abide Aquaman.
You be hating on Aqu.
It's not great, which ironically is one of the few DCU movies people like, but not me.
Because it's the worst one.
Yeah, it's stinky.
Even I, who liked it, is still the worst one.
Easily the worst one. But anyway, yeah, it's been a rocky affair for a lot of people. So by the time this particular movie, Birds of Prey, or what is it, the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn, which admittedly is a mouthful of a title that even a fan can forget if they're on the spot, just like I did for a second there. When this came out, it was not a guarantee that this was going to be a success, and the box office showed it. It was not an immediate box office success, and Sonic defeated it of all things in the world. I'm not hating on Sonic the Hedgehog, but he did take down my girl. Yeah. What a lot of people won't tell you is that this movie did make its money back and then some, but they're not going to say that anymore because people love the negativity. Yes. In case you get that wrong again. But anyway. But what do we think? Because that matters, right?
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't. But to us it does. And that's the thing. Movies like the DCU movies have caused a lot of controversy, and they've made people just jump on bandwagons without ever even watching the movies, or worse, making up their minds before they actually watch the movie and deciding, I'm either going to hate this or love this. And that's no way to watch a movie. We're all about watching it, and if you still hate it then, well then cool. And if you still like it then, well then cool. So what do we think? What's our honest take on this bad boy? What's up? Well, of course, we also got to mention, by the way, this movie's now theatrically being called Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey, which, in all honesty, even though I like the original title, it really kind of should have been called Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey. Not only from a financial point of view, but that's kind of what the movie is, So anyway, the plot, if you're not familiar with it or if you haven't seen the movie, it picks up after Harley Quinn has a breakup with the Joker, so we don't see Jared Leto in this. We just see an animated version of him, basically.
And there was a double.
And there was a brief double shot. But anyway, it's right after her breakup. And here is a woman that for all her career in crime has been defined by who she's with. And she sets out to make a name for herself, to come out from under the thumb, if you will, of the person she I guess would call a master. Because of that, she sets forth a sequence of events that draw in a variety of people in the Gotham underworld and even in the legal side that similarly are trying to get out from the perception that society has of them. And together they end up banding up against those that would have them gone. In this case, most notably, Ewan McGregor's portrayal of the Black Mask.
Yeah.
So, that's the basic plot. A lot of people will throw out, I'm sure, and they did, for damn sure, now that I think about it, that this is just another agenda movie, that this is just, oh, chicks are super cool and stuff. Look, man, that shit's been going on in comics forever, man. You know? It's cool to think of the badass dudes in tights fighting crime and all that shit. It's also been a cool thing in comics forever to think of hot ass chicks in tights fighting crime. This is nothing new to comic
fans. You're just into dudes in tights.
That might be an issue.
Hashtag hella homo.
Hashtag you just realized that you were just into dude in tights recently. Hashtag hella homo again.
Dude.
But anyway, so we're not even gonna dignify the idea that this is, one of these agenda movies. Movies that are generally having a lot of chicks in the leads, yes, just like a movie that's gonna generally have a lot of dudes in the leads, yes, the villains are gonna be probably all the opposite sex and all that. Whatever. I don't think this is an agenda movie. Do you? Yes or no? So that we can just move on from that.
I think it has a lot of stuff that is saying something, but it ultimately is not a freaking agenda thing.
Yeah. And that's, I think, fair enough.
Yeah.
You can say something and then still have a fucking story. And that's what this movie does. Ultimately, its point in the DCU fabric, we've had all the other movies are about, are really through the perspective of men in a world where suddenly gods, quote unquote, exist. And that relationship. This movie is not on that big scale, but it exists in that world. And if you see it through that lens, this movie is about a world where it's seen through the perspective of women, where these dominating figures are kind of like gods in the world, and they have to come out from under that. So thematically, it fits, but on a really smaller scale. And I feel that Birds of Prey could have been more of a stepping stone movie that they could have released earlier than later. So that it could, have introduced the character earlier and all this stuff and the texture of the city. But it has no problem fitting in here, in my opinion. So what do you think about that, man? Do you think it's in the right spot? Do you think it's too small compared to what's already been released?
I think that I kind of agree that this could have been this could have probably taken the place of Suicide Squad.
Mm-hmm.
In that, stepping stone wise, it makes more sense.
Right.
That being said, I'm totally fine where it is. It actually kind of is refreshing that you get more of a smaller story and you get to see, the criminals that from Gotham
and I gotta give them
through in this universe, I guess.
Right. I gotta give them credit for making the flow from, in this case, I guess the movie that will have more links to this would be Suicide Squad, making the flow from that to this movie and the Gotham we saw in Batman versus Superman and the like, making the flow, the aesthetic flow from that slowly eke into this movie, because we're introduced to that Gotham and it feels like it belongs in that universe that we saw in the other DCEU movies that featured it, and then it ekes away into this movie in a way that you almost kind of don't notice that all of a sudden you're in this other kind of aesthetic. So that's a good thing. And the way they do it, I think I also have to give props to, because this movie is told literally through the perspective, an unreliable perspective, no less.
Deadpool-esque.
Of Harley Quinn. Yeah. And the Deadpool-esque-ness, by the way, is something that also got a lot of criticism. Where are you at on that?
I don't mind it. It makes sense. It is structurally similar in the way that it's told. Mm-hmm. But it makes sense with the character, and I thought it was actually cool.
Yeah, I agree, man. It fits, I think, in a more appropriate way, because she's not unreliable just because of her wacky nature. She's unreliable because she's, well, she has psychological problems, legitimately.
Yeah.
So there's an added texture to that, and the fact that they don't, it doesn't rely heavily on humor, but there is a subtler humor, I guess, versus a more, splat in your face humor. I like that a lot more. Even though I love Daredevil, don't get me wrong. Of course, I love Daredevil. I'm sorry, Daredevil, Deadpool.
Yeah. I was about to say, why are you bringing Daredevil?
But I feel that it's two different breeds of movie, despite a similar approach to the narrator and the main character. So anyway, all that being said, all those big points that people brought up out there, what do you have to say? Anything you think is pertinent?
I think the coolest thing is that you get to see a world with, at least for me, because I'm a Black Maskite, to see these characters told in a very different way, and yet they kind of fit into that world. Like even with Black Mask, he definitely fits in a world where that Joker would exist from Suicide Squad. Like there's similarities there in the way they do things.
Yeah,
it's just kind of a cool thing that they carried over the style and didn't just abandon it, which you would think would have happened after the reception. It's cool that they kept a lot of that stylistic stuff similar in the world, and didn't just freaking shit on him, man. I like it.
Yeah, and it acknowledges stuff not only through the story but visually that existed already there in the previous movies. So yeah, if you're a fan of DC, it still doesn't ignore all that, like you say. And if you're wanting a change, it introduces enough change for you to be like, oh, okay, this is something new. So it's a win-win there. And it's kind of a shame that people didn't go and give it a shot, because I think this is a fairly good balance of, all right, well, people just want another Marvel movie and DC. It's a good balance of those two things. Like, all right, well, here we're giving you more of apparently what it's the only thing that'll satisfy you, but we're still not betraying our brand, which is a great approach, man. You can't betray your brand. You gotta stay on point. So that's pretty neat, man. So the characters here are the Birds of Prey. As aforementioned, it's not really about them. They're more pieces of the fabric that are weaved into Harley's story. It's really kind of like an Inception movie for the Birds of Prey. To the point where the actual group, the Birds of Prey, might feel like an afterthought to people that want a Birds of Prey movie.
All three.
So yeah, and if you want, like the full team, I know there's people that are like, where's fucking what's her name? What, I forget her name? Oracle? Was it? Chill, man. Where's your bitching with other fucking origin movies? Come on, man, chill. So this, as far as the actual group Birds of Prey goes, you could see this as kind of an inception point. Not so much an origin, I would say, but because it's so Harley centric, but definitely in that vein, I guess, for lack of better words. A lot of criticism from comic fans went towards the portrayal of Black Mask. I know you're a Black Mask-ite. Where are you at?
I like him. He is different. But he is actually still pretty similar in the way he kind of like goes off the rails. That is very Black Maskian. But yeah, he's definitely a lot more out there. But I really liked it. It was cool. Fortunately, he dies. Spoiler.
Now, the insinuations from news stories before this movie came out were that Black Mask was going to be gay or flamboyantly gay, or it was a variety of stories that went out there. I don't know if that was the intent. He didn't come off as either anything, really. So, I don't know, unless you're like totally picking up on gay vibes.
Yeah, I was getting some gay vibes from him and Zaz. I think they were banging.
Yeah, I didn't get any of that. It's just a fucking guy that's self-obsessed and narcissistic. If he was, they're not like, oh, check out his butt boning.
Unfortunately, which I really wanted some super duper gayness. Because, like, if you're going to make someone gay, make them gay. That being said, it's not even, like, ever even mentioned.
Yeah.
It's just kind of in the way he acts. He's very flamboyant.
I won't even say that. He's just, whatever. I mean, I didn't pick up any of that, but I was wanting it because, like you, I'm like, it would be hilarious.
Well, I think it's just in the way that he talks and the way he like kind of moves around and shit. It can be seen as homosexual.
I guess. Hashtag, I guess.
Damn, homie.
I didn't pick it up. I didn't pick up any of that.
Straight freaking contradicto today.
No, I just didn't pick up any of that. So,
anyways, super gay. There's a scene with him and Zaz. They get on their freaking bone bike and just hump each other. It was pretty cool scene.
Bone bikes? Seriously?
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know.
That being said, like, cause of how they were making it out in the freaking stories and shit, you were expecting straight gay sex, and it never happens. He's just a little out there.
I was expecting, like, mildly flamboyant because people were raging so hard. I was like, this is going to be nothing. And for me, I just didn't pick up on any of that. If it's there, I guess it's there, but I don't know. I'm kind of sad that it wasn't there. But anyway, that being said, the portrayal from Ian McGregor, yeah, it's kind of fun. You know what I'm saying? It's a fun portrayal of the Black Mask. If you're like obstinate about fucking getting, the Black Mask that you're used to, well, then you're probably going to be sad. But then, really, you have to look at yourself and go, which comic book movie has 100% given you the comics?
Especially with a character like Black Mask. Like, though I'm a Black Maskite, really, who cares about Black Mask?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you can make them different.
I know some people were bitching about his death. Zaz here is kind of his right-hand man, and he goes the way of the fucking dodo. They're complaining about that. Oh, what a waste, this and that. And at the same time, complimenting Marvel. And again, we've said this 1,000 times. If we said it once, we have no problem with Marvel. We like Marvel. But really, dude, Marvel's like literally killing big-ass villains.
Yeah.
If you're going to kill a villain, kill, Black Mask and fucking Zaz. I mean, in this timeline, sure, they're disposable.
Or at the very least, have them have a gay sex scene. That's what I was going in for.
Damn, homie. Hey,
you're
really like hard on the sex scenes between them.
Yeah,
you're like you're criticizing me for being critical, where I'm just being like, I just didn't pick up on it. And you're like, dude, I need that 69
I did need
sequence.
that 69 sequence.
69 extended edition.
You gotta admit, the way people were making it seemed like there was gonna be 13 hours of 69.
The 13-hour cut.
13.
And it's just Lord of the Rings. I mean, it's The Hobbit.
Yeah.
And you're like, why is this in here?
This is bad.
Anyway, cool portrayal. I'd say as a villain, he's more set dressing for Harley. This is Harley's movie. This is Harley's movie straight through and through, and that's really what we have to focus on if we're going to really talk about this movie. It's a character movie. It's about her character. As far as the Harley that we know, this version of Harley that Margot Robbie here portrays, and we say Margot Robbie because she had a big hand in this movie.
Yeah, she was pimping it out.
She produced the movie. She was really behind this movie. They did a really good job of cherry picking elements of Harley from just about every iteration that's been out there to give us a Harley that feels like a Harley no matter which Harley you're particular to, If you like the Amanda Conner version, if you like the Dini version, etc., whatever, we're getting here a bag that always, at least in my opinion, reads Harley. So, I mean, I can only give kudos to that. Where you at with that? Were you ever betrayed?
No, I wasn't betrayed. I was more betrayed by the fact there wasn't a gay sex scene.
Damn, homie, you're really on this. It's weird. it's freaking me out, man.
Yeah.
Anyway, what do you got, man? Anything negative you want to say about this movie?
I can't think of any outright negatives. I think maybe like the not necessarily soundtrack, but the score is a little messy. Maybe a little too low.
No, it's just the copy.
Yeah, it might have been that, which is why I didn't even want to bring it up.
Hashtag
stutter shit.
Stutter shit. Hashtag Korean screener copies.
Yeah, it was like really
stinky.
It was really low.
Yeah.
But I think it might just be that. So I think that would be like the only thing that I would shit on.
Here's something that people shit on. They were like, "Yo, why is Harley not wearing her skimpy gear in this?" But remember when she was wearing the skimpy gear?
Everybody
like,
was crying
why
about
the fuck is she being a slut? Like, dude, fucking
stop,
crap.
Dude.
You gotta stop. pick a side already.
Yeah.
And then not vocalize it. Because who cares? So, let's talk about that. Harley's outfit. She has many of them in this. Any that made you frown and decide to rage on the internet about?
No. It's fine.
Pretty good when I went further back.
You know, it's fine. Not chicks don't have to be nude all the time.
Yeah.
And the
especially if you're me and you're totally into CFNM. Hashtag look it up. Anyway.
Crabby fundidos.
Crabby fundidos in New Mexico. Anyway.
So yeah, it was and the outfits are cool. That makes sense. You know, all the chicks aren't skimpy and shit. And I don't know. People are gay and people are like, then the next second they're like, oh, why aren't they skimpy?
Yeah,
it's retarded.
It's such a contradictory fandom that I don't even think fans qualify as fans anymore. But anyway, all the outfits, I found them pretty cool. They were
sensical.
You know, Harley's journey here is one of, you know, it's like a roller coaster, adequately enough. So the outfits kind of reflect her mood and or the mood that she's trying to project onto the world. And that was pretty cool, man. And, you know, everybody, of course, wants to see her in the original outfit. I'm sure we will somewhere down the road. In the meantime, hey, we got an even more assortment of outfits. Which, by the way, in the comics, where's tons of outfits. So, can we get over this outfit thing?
Yeah.
Dug them all. So there's that. If you're a comic book fan, there's a few things in here that might suggest this or that about certain things that were speculated about, say, the Joker or, I don't know, Jason Todd or whatever. That may or may not be hints. I don't know, but it was pretty fun to see them. We also get a few little fan service moments if you're a fan of the DCU.
You love Captain Boomerang.
Yeah, Captain Boomerang gets a little shout out, you know, because that's necessary.
It's the most consistent thing in the DCU at this point.
Apparently.
Hey, damn, homie.
Now, we did mention the outfits. Let's talk about the outfits of everybody else. People bitched about that, too. Why aren't they dressed like their comic counterparts? Dude, this is an Inception movie. This is a pseudo-origin movie for the Birds of Prey.
Also, some of those suits are ridiculous.
That, too, man. Like, imagine a Huntress suit in real life. It's not going to look great.
All up to here.
And then at the end of the day, it's not time for them to suit up. So, it would be doubly ridiculous for them to just conveniently have these suits. So basically we get streetwear. I will say that I did not particularly enjoy how the Huntress looked. It looked kind of like a cheap outfit, but the way the character is portrayed as so self-serious that she's kind of a joke.
Kind of corny, yeah.
Kind of just made it okay, you know? So that was pretty cool. I really liked the way they portrayed that. I gotta admit, I wanted to punch Cassandra Cain like 100% of the time.
Homie, why?
I just did not like her. I didn't like the actress portraying her.
Damn.
I didn't like the character so much. I liked how Harley was affected by the character. But I just didn't like the character. And it has nothing to do, by the way, with the way she's portrayed in the comics versus this. No, I just didn't like the character. But I do like how it affected Harley. I just feel that, I don't know, a better actress that's less punchable.
I liked her.
Would have been better.
I thought she was pretty likable. Though she couldn't really act. Was pretty bad actress.
I wanted to punch her, dude.
Apparently, I didn't. I actually kind of liked her.
I wanted to punch her, not just because I kind of didn't like the character, or rather the way she portrayed the character, but her face is punchable.
Damn, homie.
Like, damn,
you want to punch little kids now?
Yeah, for real. Hashtag punch little kids. Do it now. Anyway,
no,
big ass hashtag. What else? We had a Black Canary here. Hey, man. This is the sister of the infamous Jussie Smollett, or Smolier if you're Dave Chappelle. Hey, man, thanks for like making it okay to like your family again. Because I really like Black Panera. Black cool. Paneri. She goes to Panera and sings there.
She makes pan.
I liked the character, man.
Cool.
It was pretty cool. Here's something that might not gel with some people is the kind of inconsistent, non-linear approach to the storytelling, to the narrative. And I don't know what you thought about it, but I really liked it as a device. One, because this only emphasized the unreliability of Harley Quinn and her perspective. We're seeing everything through her perspective, basically. So it just emphasized all that. But I know it's a turnoff for some people. Some people hate Pulp Fiction just because it's out of order at times, or really the whole time. I don't know. It's a thing that people dislike. So I don't know where you stand. I know you love Pulp Fiction, so it's not a thing you hate. But is it a thing you liked it here or not?
I liked it. It mostly only happens like in the first half, I would say. Kind of cools down as it goes. But I like it because it kept that kind of chaotic feel that the first half of Suicide Squad had. So it kind of had the weird same feeling that one had, only in a different way. Obviously, this one was a little
more focal.
Yeah, more focal, made more sense. But, it brought that kind of chaotic feel that the Suicide Squad had that I liked.
Again, that it had a frenetic and then kind of like, I don't know, man, particular, I'm not going to say strange, but a quite particular feeling to it that just spoke of the character. It was anarchic, but not to the point of disarray. Yeah. So it was a cool approach, and it more importantly, I think it hooks you in right away, which
it makes a very simple story early on more interesting.
Yeah, and with characters that the majority of the audience, they don't know who the fuck Black Canary and Huntress are. Of course, comic fans know, and people that are into those characters know, but most people don't. So this was a good way to get people engaged in these characters by keeping them kind of a mystery. Until certain things are unveiled, unless you're Cassandra Cain, in which case you just won't need to get uppercut into that stratosphere. Hated that face. Yeah,
I think it's most of the face because she's like hardly does anything.
Nah, it's very quiet. That's also a thing. Like, do something.
Damn, homie.
Hashtag hate.
I don't understand that.
If it was about the face, I would want to punch Rosie Perez, but I don't.
Damn, homie, you hating on the Rosie?
Hashtag penis head. She's got literally like a dome head.
Nah, dude. Rosie's my girl. I've always liked Rosie.
I like Rosie too.
Don't shit on Rosie.
I'm not shitting on Rosie. I'm saying she has a hideous face, just like I do.
If you're gonna shit on Rosie, you gotta shit on Rosie O'Donnell.
Well, you were the one defending Rosie like a year ago.
I was never defending Rosie.
Yeah, you were like, dude, didn't you used to watch Rosie?
That wasn't me defending. That was me throwing your freaking weird cast at you.
Look, man, I wanted a koosh ball.
Yeah, you did.
Hashtag I hate Rosie O'Donnell, though. I think everybody does. But the point is...
Man, don't hate on Rosie, dude.
I don't hate on Rosie Perez, but I do hate on Rosie O'Donnell.
Hurt my feelings,
I'm just saying,
I'm Rosie.
If we're going to talk about hideous faces, that's the way to go.
She's not hideous.
It's pretty hideous, man. Anyway.
Damn, homie.
It's not my fault you like hideous-ass face broads.
I've always liked Rosie. She is looking pretty old, though.
Yeah, not like she was hot when she was younger.
Damn, homie!
Although I would totally take Rosie Perez over Jennifer Lopez.
Yeah, dude.
Any day, but that's not because I think she's hotter. That's just because Jennifer Lopez sucks. I don't know how we got here, but the point is...
Rosie Perez is the coolest.
Not the coolest, but anyway.
Damn, dude!
This is pretty uncool, actually.
I hate!
Anyway, here she's pretty cool as Renee Montoya, which, of course, if you know the comics, you know who she is. Again, some people are pissed off that she's, a lesbian here, and they're like, agenda. She's a lesbian in the comics. Yeah. Come on, guys. Can we just get over this?
So you're a comic fan.
Anyway.
Homies.
So that's a thing that happened, right? Anyway, long story short, anything you want to add to this before we go on to a final thoughts and score? And give it to me.
Rosie Perez is cool. She's my girl.
That's what the hill you're gonna die on?
Yes. I'm gonna
die on it then, because you're gonna be alone on that bitch.
Nah, there's a lot of Roseites out there, dude.
I don't know, man. Find me a guy that wants to bone Rosie's face.
There's a lot of people who want to bone Rosie's face.
Yeah, but men are pigs, and of course, we would bone anything on the planet. Damn, that's not the point. The point is, if we had a choice,
if anybody
we'd definitely not pick Rosie.
If anybody on Earth would watch this video, they would be coming after you because they're Rosie fans out there.
Definitely not. You're telling me if it came between Margot Robbie and Rosie Perez, you're going to choose Rosie? There you go. Then you just made the point.
That was never the discussion. I said Rosie's my girl.
No, you were willing to die on the Rosie hill. Yeah. Which means you're going to take Rosie over everything.
Because I got to defend Rosie.
She doesn't need to be defended, dude. She's
true. She wouldn't need my defense.
Exactly.
She's that cool.
What are you gonna do? Like run to stop a bullet?
No, I just stand there. Everything hits me because I'm freaking obese.
Why are they aiming at you?
Why
What
not?
are you, Cassandra Cain's face?
Damn, homie.
Anyway, final thoughts. Score 1 to 10.
I liked it. It fits in the universe while being kind of unique on its own. It's cool, colorful, looks great.
Colorful. You're taking the raccoon approach to the rating, eh?
There's a hyena. It's cute. I don't know. Stylistically, it was my bag, dude. I really liked it, and it's got my boy Black Mass being super homosexual.
Totally not gay in it.
Extremely gay, dude. So gay.
Hashtag not gay enough.
Yeah, that's the truth. He should have been super gay.
Not even close to being gay.
He was pretty gay, but he definitely should have been gayer. It also has a Zaz, which looks like freaking David Blaine, so it gets David Blaine points.
Yeah, dude, they should have just gotten David Blaine to play him, honestly.
Yeah. The
would
butt
have
stuff
been way creepier.
The butt stuff would have made sense.
Yeah, he would totally slid up.
Damn, homie.
Into their DMs.
Slid inside her.
Which is, something that stands for ass, only with the words DM. Anyway, the letters.
Good one, dude.
Yeah, I'm on top of my game today.
Yeah, so am I, right?
Yep.
It's really colorful. Quote
Damn.
me 3 minutes ago.
Cut to you fiddling with aluminum and then washing sugar in water. Anyway, so go on.
That was a good raccoon reference.
Hashtag raccoon reference,
Yeah,
damn it.
Anyway, it's pretty awesome. I liked it. I'll give it like a freaking... Get an 8.5. Possibly a 9 if I'm in a good mood. Which clearly I'm not.
Apparently. Taking offense to everything.
Dude, Rosie!
Yeah, Rosie, I'm not going to die in that
I can't,
hill.
dude.
I like Rosie, but I'm not going to die in the she's hot hill. When clearly she's not.
You offended me with Rosie, dude.
Apparently. Took it to heart. Anyway. I think something that should be mentioned before I go into the super final thoughts is that Rosie's hideous. But no, something that should be mentioned is that this is actually a really funny movie, but it's a lot more subtle in its approach to comedy, which honestly, even though it is wacky at times, honestly, I was craving in a superhero movie because I don't like the bulk of the humor in the Marvel Universe, which is where we get a lot of the humor. There's some that I really like. Like, I really enjoyed, except for the Hulk, the humor in Thor Ragnarok. But there's a lot of humor in the Marvel Universe that just does not work for me. And it's been getting steadily worse. So I was like, man, I hope they don't fuck up that here. I know a lot of people like that humor, and power to you if you do, but I kind of don't. Far From Home was like, I was like dying during, like, please do not make another joke.
Fundios.
Straight stanky fundios. But I loved the humor in this. I thought it was quirky. I thought it was clever. I thought it was in the spirit, the anarchic spirit of Harley Quinn. As a Harley Quinn guy, I can tell you that they really delivered on the character. So that's cool. As a comic fan, I can tell you they delivered a smorgasbord of things that if you like comics, you can see cool and clever things there that you like. Or, conversely, you may not like Cassandra Cain's face.
God damn it.
But,
or Rosie, apparently. Hashtag Rosie hate.
Well, I liked her. I just don't think she's hot. But anyway, the point is, this was a really cool movie. It was really fun. I would place it above Wonder Woman.
Oh, really?
If I'm going to rank it somewhere. Wonder Woman was obviously a bigger movie, and I love Wonder Woman, but I enjoyed this far more than that.
Yeah.
And it is kind of a breath to take in terms of the bigger scale of the DCU movies, which they just kind of been. Even Shazam, though kind of a smaller story, still is pretty big. It's a big superhero thing. So it's nice to see something super scaled down. And yet, it never lost its comic bookiness,
Yeah.
Especially in Harley Quinn's fighting style. A lot of people bitched in Suicide Squad that why would this chick be amidst all these superpowered guys fighting? And what could she really add to this? I mean, we got what she added to it in the movie. But here, you really see how proficient she is, how much her character comes off in her fighting style. And it's just fun to watch, So that's cool. I do think this was not named right. I don't know if that would have helped at the box office or not, but I think Margot Robbie's a winner as Harley. She did a great job before, and she proves that she's the right person for the role. Hopefully the the next Suicide Squad movie won't be a failure, so that she won't be disillusioned like the Affleck and leave.
Damn, dude, the Affleck.
But anyway, I really enjoyed this movie. I'll give it a 9. It's a fun time. It's a hoot. It's a holler. Check it out.
It's got hot ass Rosie Perez being all hot.
Least hot person on this thing, except for Cassandra Cain's face.
Damn, homie.
Not that she would be hot to begin with, because she's like, what, 1 year old in it. But damn, that face, though. No, she was just an annoying character. But no, she wasn't annoying. She was just like a character I wanted to punch.
Facially,
especially. I'd like just slobber knocker the shit out of her.
I don't understand that. I mean, she had a kind of a weird face, but...
It wasn't the weirdness. It was just like something, the character plus just seeing her made me want to punch her.
Damn, homie.
But I don't know, man. Maybe on second viewing I'll be like all in the Cassandra Cain club.
I liked her. She was pretty alright. You know, she didn't really do much.
I liked her. She was pretty alright.
Well, she was kind of like a background character, you know. She didn't really
Thank God! Imagine this movie was like super Cassandra Cain centric. I'd be like,
homie,
wanting to fucking murk myself. Anyway, check this movie out, man. It did not deserve the fate it got. Let us know what you think about it. Hit like, share, subscribe, buttons, because we're out.
Damn, what was it? Like Rosie hate made you into a mongoloid?
Yeah, man. You know that's how I roll. Better to ride a short bus than to like Rosie as or think she's hot.
Damn, homie.
That's the saying, right?